Good evening, everyone. A very welcome. Thank you for coming to attend the debates, the lecture debates for the year 2024. It's an honor for us to host this event and to provide an opportunity for all the students who stand for this student society to get to know the candidates who are passionate about making a difference in the lives of future students. I would like to acknowledge first that we are on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, Squamish, and Musqueam nations, on which Simon Fraser University stands. The candidates who are participating in this debate have put in a remarkable effort over the past few weeks, as we've seen around campus with their posters, and it is truly inspiring to see such passion and drive from individuals who want to make a change on campus. The format of the debate will be as follows. Each candidate will have 1 minute to make an opening statement, followed by a question period that each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer. So we will be going by position. So all the candidates who are running for position will come forward to the front, have a seat, and they'll go in order of the alphabetical order of their last name. Just a reminder for everyone to please be silent so we can hear the candidates. And if you do have questions, you can start lining up on the mic there, and you can start doing that while the candidates are introducing themselves. That's all. And also, I am the Chief Commissioner of the Independent Electoral Commission, and I'll be serving as the moderator of today's debate. My team will now introduce themselves.
Hi guys, my name is Nuriman. I'm one of the election commissioners, and I'll be helping today moderating the debates. I'd just like to say that good luck to all the candidates, and I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm also elections commissioner. I'll be helping control the online webinar presentation today. Thank you all for coming, and I wish the candidates the best of luck.
My name is Moira. I'm also commissioner, and today I will be your timer. Just a reminder that your introduction should only be 1 minute. When your 1 minute is up, you will hear a sound from my phone. The rest of it will be 2 minutes long. You will be shown a 30-second timer. And when you do, or at the end of the 2 minutes, you will also be hearing an alarm. So just keep in mind, kind of look towards my way if you feel like you're going longer than you are. And best of luck to everyone.
Thank you. We will first begin with the VP External and Community Affairs. Can all the candidates who are running for this position please come forward? Just a reminder, before you speak, you do need to turn on your microphone. So there'll be a little switch on the microphone. And also for the people who will be asking questions, just remember to turn it on so everyone can hear you. We will begin with Ayoluwa Edison, who will give his statement first.
Hi everyone. My name is Ayoluwa Edison, but you can call me Ayo, Ayo, or David if any of that's too much. But I'm running for 2024's VP External and Community Affairs, and my platform is mostly built on being an accurate representation of the SFSS community. I do believe that while admirable to have my own ideas, which would mostly revolve around the international students, it is the responsibility of the external community relations to talk to people outside of SFSS, SFU, about issues that the student body as a whole has agreed that it wants to face. And that's the entire basis of what I plan to do next year, to, while holding my own beliefs and bringing them into discussions about what the community is going to bring to external communities in order to make a greater change in the province and Canada as a whole. I do want to be a proper representation of what we as a student body decide on.
That's time. Thank you.
I have a question for you. How do you plan to involve and engage with the student body in your decision-making processes?
I do believe a good part of that has been dealt with this year in the form of opening up. The meetings have always been open up to the student body, but I do believe the current executive has approached the executive in a more nonchalant way, in the sense that instead of us being this untalkable parties to other people, we've opened ourselves up more to people who normally wouldn't be interested in the community as a whole. And I would want us to continue that as an executive body next year, in the sense that we bring in more people to the circle, to the community. In negotiations, we collaborate more with student bodies as to different things that we want to do. And it means that more people get interested in the conversations that we're going to have. More people are interested in those conversations, and we have better discourse. And it means that we have better ways of, and better decisions just in general being made as a student body. And even if the decisions aren't necessarily better, they are decisions that we as a student body can agree and say that we made them together.
Thank you.
Just a reminder, if you do have questions, you can start lining up. We only ask questions when none of the audience has questions. Also, candidates can ask each other questions as well. So next we will go with Joel. I think the time is over.
You get 20 seconds.
Sorry, I was gonna.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I think it's on. Just a real quick question. Our role as external is centered around our advocacy, and I just wanted to see what your advocacy priorities were for the upcoming term if you were to be elected in.
They mostly revolve around the international student, just in the sense that we currently don't have a cap on how much tuition can be increased. As well as the fact that there is now a push against more international enrollment just because of numbers and all of that. I do believe SFU is in a state where it can be exempt from such a rule. And I guess that would be my advocacy of primarily not. But of course, if there are any other requests from student bodies to do advocacy, and they are made a priorities, then that's when the priorities would lie while I am in the role.
Thank you. Next we'll have Joel.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joel. I am a transfer student from Capilano. This is my final year at SFU. So obviously, some of you might have not seen me as much as the rest of the groups have. I work closely with the constituency groups, so I'm part of the Disability Neurodiversity Alliance. I also work on the SFU side of things, not so much on the SFSS side of things. So I've been part of the Accessibility Committee, which is taking charge of the Accessibility Action Plan this year. So that is something that I am working with. My priorities are going to be tuition caps, making sure that there's affordable housing on campus, making sure our student services are looked after. So more mental health care, more student support, making sure there's more Indigenous perspectives involved within our SFU community. And making sure everybody's looked after and collaborating with community organizations, because a lot of the work that we try to do is already being done. We just need to collate it together. And I think that is a big part of what we need to do.
Thank you.
Hey, hello. I have a question for Joel. So I was looking at your platform and one of your talking points was regarding house affordability and earning. My question is, how are you kind of getting that done? And before you answer the question, I just want to give you a little bit of information. So in 2019 and 2020, about 4 or 5 years ago, SFU built 2 residence buildings, East Tower and West Tower. 6 months ago, SFU built a new residence building, entirely the courtyard residence. Altogether, these residence buildings have allowed up to 1,000 students to live there at SFU, with the average rent for the domestic student being $900 and $1,000 a month. So if you are elected till May 1st, how will you get funding to build houses at SFU? And not to mention, where will you go to begin with?
Okay. So when I said build housing more affordable. What I was trying to say was we need more housing in general. One of the things that BC government has just done is come up with transit-oriented development. So every exchange, every transit center, they've like reduced the zoning regulations. So they've done that for all major centers within the city, but they haven't done that for SFU exchange. We're having a gondola come up, we're having a bus exchange, which is going to be a node, which is going to be a community center. And that qualifies. So we need to work with indigenous communities. We need to work with government to make sure that gets done because that reduces red tape. Red tape is the biggest reason why housing is not built. So if we do that, I think we can accelerate housing growth and that would probably bring affordability to our campus.
You would also need to get the correct permits to build your housing as well. And the permits for the residents don't take like a week, or they don't happen overnight. They can take months up to a year. So it could very well be that if you do decide to get this done, that the next week external will, take over what we decide to do. Do you think it's even feasible to get this done within your elected term?
I can start. I don't have to finish it, but it's good work. I have to do it.
Hi, I just had a quick question. Oh, sorry about that. So, my question was about your tuition fees or your tuition cap. So quick, just how do you plan on doing that? With what resources and what money do you plan on doing that? And I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, do you have a rough plan by any chance?
It's an aspirational goal. It is not supposed to be something that gets done in 1 year. It has been working on, past VP externals have worked on it. Future VP externals will work on it. It is an aspirational goal, but does not mean we don't do it. International students are being, taxed like multiple times just because the system we're in. And what I want to do is work with international students, work with the constituency group to come up with a way that does not revolve around taxing international students.
Thank you so much.
Next is an introduction by Mehtab. Also, just a reminder to keep it close and speak up. So
Hi everyone, my name is Mehtab. Before I start, I just want to acknowledge that we are on the unceded land of the Coast Salish people. This is my second term at SFU, and I love the campus. I mean, the sunsets are some of the best sunsets in the world. But I have noticed that we are a little bit disconnected from the community outside of SFU. I've worked on multiple nonprofit global projects, and I believe communication is the key. So I took that to Reading, and I asked you guys what you wanted to see around. And I realized one size fits all is not something that's going to work for our situation. Food insecurity, affordable housing, lack of mental health resources, these issues have been around for a long time. And the old approaches haven't been as effective as I think we could be by including external organizations to come in and elevate the load of SFSS and give us more resources so that we can have continued help even after our degrees are done. As well as acquiring resources.
any questions?
Okay, so the food security thing, I know it's one thing that has been worked years and years upon for in SFU and SFSS as a whole. So what end do you want to approach it from?
It's a very good question. So I know there are programs at SFU that already are trying to combat food insecurity. I know there's help from food bank, there's the SFU food bank. There's also on the first floor, there's the food fridge. But my approach would be, I know it's difficult for other organizations to come in with the food insecurity right now because of the regulations. So my first step would be to change that so that we can have other organizations come in that would give us more resources that are leveraged so that it would be more adequate for us as a student body. And of course, external organizations like GNFK or other organizations to do even a little bit helps in the long term. So that would be something I'd be pushing. Does it satisfy you? Yeah.
Hi, Nata. I have one more question for you. What makes you the best candidate out of all the folks here?
I don't think anything would make me the best candidate yet, because I haven't done anything yet. But I do say, do give me a chance. And I guess maybe a year from now, you can ask me the same question. And as in, what have you done? Because I don't have anything to prove. I don't have a track record at SFU yet. But I will say this, I have worked on nonprofit projects. I am very familiar with raising funds and getting subsidies from governments. I'm also very familiar with our everyday problems, especially with international students. I've done projects with international students, raising funds. Done a 2-year project, raising scholarships or funds for international students. You can look at that as well. And if you have any questions, always help me out. So, yeah, sorry.
Great, thank you.
Next is Natalia.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalia. I'm running for external VP. And yeah, what I really want to do is to be a true advocate for all the students. Being a student is not easy. I know we all know it. We have a lot of problems in our daily basis, a lot of things to worry about. And what I want to do is to try to ease that burden by trying to reach out to the community and know what are the things that worry us the most and try to advocate for us with the external community. I know we all have to tackle similar problems like tuition caps, all the affordable housing, affordable transit, and I'm sure I have a good approach for those, and maybe it will work. I hope it will work. If it doesn't, I'm willing to work with, of course, all these candidates. I'm sure they also have awesome ideas, and yeah, give me a chance.
The floor is open for questions.
This way? So this is gonna be for all the candidates. A couple of you guys already mentioned that you wanted to work towards like tuition caps and affordability towards housing and everything. Considering how limited the space there is on campus in terms of just overall building and as well as the red tape that SFU kind of has in terms of dealing with that, is there anything you guys have in mind or like a direction when it comes to trying to address that red tape, especially since SFU is very particular with their land and the indigenous groups that behind that as well?
Before you answer, I just want to clarify, because of time constraints we're down. Only one of you is going to answer, so only Natalia is going to answer, but from next positions, you can ask questions to whoever you want. Thanks.
Yeah, so regarding the tuition caps, I think that's a very tough matter, to be honest. Like, it's hard for you to say, of course, they're gonna put a cap on it because getting funding, it's sometimes not easy from when they ask from the government, and then they rely a lot on international students, for example, which I find sometimes unfair, of course. So it's a thing we have to deal directly with SFU executives, I guess, and to try to find a lot of support in the external community so that they can give scholarships and a lot of the funding perhaps we're making so that we can put a cap.
Thank you. Sorry, is it okay if I answer too? I would like to, Chris.
If you can keep it under 20 seconds.
Sure. I guess the angle I spoke with is working with SFU, as we all, as most of us know, SFU is regulatory as a medical school. And then we believe that that's a big enough draw, especially to the province, that we can, that if we work in conjunction with SFU, we can convince them that this place is worth more than they seem to take it for. Which could open up the door to subsidies, open up the door to scholarships, open up the door to just significant in terms of community. And if we could work in that line of thinking, we can make SFU possibly as useful to the province as maybe UBC if we're lucky.
I also just wanted to add, we do know that the government of Canada has put a cap for international students in intake for the next 2 years. That's going to affect our tuition, and that's going to affect the budget for SFU as well. So once again, similar to Io's campaign. My goals would be to get more governmental grants and of course, more subsidies for student scholarships and that's.
Thank you so much. We will now move on to the VP Events and Student Affairs. Can we have, because there are 8 candidates for this position, can we have Ryan, Jenna, Maria, and Leah at the moment at the front, just because of the chair limit? And then the other 4 can come next.
Just a reminder to the candidates, don't be afraid to keep the mic fairly close to you when you talk. If we turn it up louder, we'll get feedback, but if you notice the difference from where I'm holding it, keep your face fairly close to the microphone. Don't touch it, but close is good. Thank you.
From this role, we'll be changing it a little bit, so all of you will go one by one saying your introductions, and then the floor is open for questions for 8 minutes, and any of you can answer the questions, and yeah, let's just try to give each candidate a question as well, just so we can hear from everyone. So we'll start off with introductions by Ryan. Ryan?
Hello, everyone. My name is
Hello? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Lahati. I am one of the running up candidates for VP events, obviously. So I feel like my main goal is to kind of be more focused on our lower year students because yes, us upper year students do make up most of the population here, but the lower year students are the people who are going to be our future, who are going to be running after us, who are going to be changing hopefully how the university works here. So I think having like focusing more on cultural events for international students and your students to make them feel more welcome and let them have more of a voice and let them feel like this is their home rather than make them think of this place as what we think of right now commuter school. Make them feel like they can hang out here, they can look for nice views and enjoy our okay food, you know. But yeah, that kind of summarizes everything I have to say and what I want people to think of my running a position.
Okay, Jenna, you're up next.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenna, and I just want to start off by saying 1 minute is not enough to tell you all about all the great ideas and all the goals I hope for the future of SFU. So if you want to learn more about me and my platform after this, please follow me on Instagram, Jenna_4VP. So just to get that out of the way, just to start off, this position means a lot to me because I've been a big community person. I've always been a big community person through my personal, professional, and familial experiences. It's the environment around me that is going to change you. So this position for me holds the power to change the students' experience of their university lives. I want their university life to be something you look back upon and be like, yeah, school kind of sucked, but I did make lots of friends. I got to go to lots of fun events with my friends. I bonded over so many school trauma and all the other things in between. As a youth community school, it sucks, but.
Thank you, Jenna. Next we'll have Lydia. Or sorry, Maria. We'll go with Maria first.
Yeah, so my name is Maria Jose Gomez. I'm an international student. I'm currently doing my 3rd year business. And why I want to be in this position is because I do believe the SFU community has a very diverse community, and we're not like taking advantage of that. And I believe we do that. A lot of people might be feeling more included in it, and like also proud of their community, not just like, oh yeah, I went to SFU. So like, I believe there's a huge opportunity. Yeah, obviously like newcomers, but
I think we need to focus a lot like what's going on right now in our community. I don't know a lot of people here, which I do want to get to know like a broader group of people. And I think like with events, that would be a great opportunity to do that. And I want to make a big example of that. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Lydia.
Hi, everyone. I hope people at the back can hear me okay. My name is Lydia. I'm also a business student concentrating in management information systems. This is my 4th year, and I have experience in running club as a VP internal. So I'm pretty familiar with the process in booking rooms and then trying to get the resources gathered and connect with people to let them come and join events. I think like a lot of people I've met in class, they say SFU is very antisocial. It's like dull and gray. So I want to make campus more lively and with a lot of fun and enjoyable events. So yeah, if you want to learn more, you can follow my Instagram.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates. Now we will open the floor to questions.
So as I say, and that's the reason also.
This is the button.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you guys say SFU is antisocial, right? So what steps are you going to take to increase the events? As you know, this year there has been no fire pits, right? And people were very unhappy about it. What you guys are gonna like? What you guys gonna do to like ensure the events are increasing?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I feel like my main goal for to kind of help everyone feel more involved rather than just only making big events, which happen like what 2 or 3 throughout the entire year. I'll try and focus on more pop-up events, like smaller like pop-up coffee shops where people can come in and study and talk together, and hopefully make it so instead of people just going to events and seeing each other once or twice every year, they see each other more frequently and I feel like more closely rather than just walking around doing events and not being able to talk to everyone and get to know each other.
Yeah, also another question, like, how are you guys gonna take the feedback from the students? Like, what do they want? How are you guys gonna know that?
Sorry. I feel like the best way to get in contact with this also involves like all future executives as well, not just externals in the events, is you could directly either email us or come to our offices. Our offices are usually this year specifically has been the most open, I believe, and the most welcoming. And hopefully can try and push that as well these coming years and try and make it so people can come in and be able to ask us questions personally as well, so we can hear them out more like personally rather than just it being through email and electronically. Hopefully that doesn't cost too much traffic in the office. So.
Yeah, but many students might not know about it, right? Like I was not aware about it.
Guys, this is just a reminder. The answers are 2 minutes per candidate, so please be mindful of that. And we want everyone to have a chance to answer.
I'll hopefully pass those questions on to the future. Hopefully.
Hi, so my name is Gemma. I'm going to be answering your question on how best I plan on, everyone doesn't like it here. They're all feeling antisocial. And that comes from a lot of like I was about to say, it's a transmitter school. People are very tired. People hate traveling hours and hours. Some are lucky enough to live here, but people travel hours and hours to get here, go to class, maybe study. They have hours in between their classes, and then they go to travel hours and hours home. So I will be posting more about this. My dream event to plan for you guys, but it's going to be right over there. Like, I don't know if you guys seen, but in the nighttime, the fairy lights and it's very beautiful. My dream event is to have chairs set up, have some music, have snacks for students who are just exhausted after a long day of school. Sit down, have a snack, take a break, and then go home. Talk to people around you, find out what they're learning.
Thank you. I think we can give other people a chance to ask questions as well.
Hey guys, Abby, some of you probably know me. It's a very simple question. I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's bloody 8 of you. So in 30 seconds or less, please tell everyone what makes you different from the 7 other candidates.
I'll give mine. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I'll go first. I guess what makes it different is I've been in SFU for like 4 years. I know the school. I've been a campus tour coordinator. So I won't get lost in school. I know a lot of people who are here for like 8 years, they get lost. I don't know where is MBC, where is Blossom Hall. So yeah, so I know the school pretty well because I've been here so long.
Yeah, so like I would like to go back to a question, like how are we gonna know what people actually want from our community? So I come from a culture which is very friendly and which is really warm and Mexican. And like when we are like making a salutation to someone and we're like, hey, how are you? What's going on in your life? It's like we really want to know what's going on in people's lives, you know? So I know I cannot go with everybody and every single individual recipe and ask them what they want. But it's a little approach what I can do into my community. And I know a big thing that will help me, which is technology. Social media right now can make you miracles. And I believe like with the proper aspects, you can get to what you really want and what people want.
Just to answer the question you asked, I feel like my main benefit, so for also for VP events, is I have been an AVP for VP external and VP events, so I could hopefully that could help me both use experience I gained from VP external, AVP external and AVP events, because I genuinely believe they both work hand in hand because external works on regaining our voice as students outside of SFU, and events focuses on making people feel more welcome while they're in here, and hopefully I could use that to help with making students feel more comfortable and make it seem like I am a better candidate. Hopefully, but all our candidates are good as well.
Hey, just a reminder, we only have 2 minutes left in this round.
I'm not saying the other candidates are in it for a specific thing, but I can assure you, I'm not here for the position, the money, or the co-ops. I'm a first year, can't even apply for co-ops. But I'm running for this position because I genuinely love planning. I'm a big planner. I'm a cadet. I'm not sure if all of you know what that means, but I plan lots of events for over 100 people. I absolutely love it. I love planning events that will actually change my community. I can see the community change right before my eyes as I see them interact within my events. And that's why I want to run for this position. I love it. It is my passion, and I want to work for you guys.
Thank you, guys. I think we can go to the other question.
All right, is this working? Great. So you're all university students. I'm sure you could throw a party. I'm not that worried about that. Part of what involves the role of VP events and student affairs, though, isn't just the specificity of the role, but generally being an executive of the SFSS. There's an inherent degree of leadership of this entire organization that is required of you all. So more than just asking about why you can throw a good party, I want to know what qualifies you as an executive of the SFSS.
Yeah, well, back on Mexico, I was part also of a big executive group, which also held really big events. And it's, as you said, it's like a big image that you're giving from your school. So you're the image of the school in this event. I used to do events for 800 people or more. And I really know the pressure that's felt because as you said, like you can go a great event, but you need to set an example also for future people to come in and for the people that you're giving this event to. So what I believe is I have the past experience in executive positions as well. I know what the pressure is to have so many people looking at you. It's like, oh, if something goes wrong, it's her, it's on her. So I can say that I would be fit for this position given the circumstances, right?
As I said before, I was the campus tour coordinator. And we organized many events with like over 500, 600 students on campus, leading them around campus, showing them what's on campus, different buildings, different places. And I do have experience in supporting such events. So, and I also work in other positions like front desk and Student Central. I am a tour guide myself, and I'm also a teaching assistant. So I do have the leadership skills.
I've spent 7 years in the Royal Canadian Air Cadet program. You know, those people wearing the blue uniforms, standing on street corners, like begging for money around Remembrance Day. I spent 7 years in that program. In that program, we learn how to lead and be professional.
That's time.
Oh, I think it's over. Now, with Ron, Saran, Thiago, and Bismillah show up. Thanks, folks. You all get 1 minute for an introduction. Chitran, you can start first.
Hello everyone, my name is Supraj. I'm a fourth year student, currently the co-president of the Indian Student Federation. I don't really have a speech, but if why am I here really is because of my past experience being in SFU for almost 3.5 years now. I've always felt this small gap between what SFSS can really do, what their potential is in terms of student life, in terms of the experience we get, and what they are doing right now. So I always want to bridge that gap and take our student life to what it is supposed to be. And as an executive of various clubs, being a part of various clubs, I've always felt that SFSS can do a lot better to support all the student groups, all the student unions, student clubs, to promote their events internally and give them more support to be better, to generate better events and a better campus experience in general. So if you vote for me, I believe I'll be able to elevate your SFU experience one event at a time. Thank you.
Next we'll have Yago. Oh, no, sorry, Saranj.
Hi, everybody. I'm Saran Snap. I hope hopefully your upcoming VP events and student affairs. Okay, so I remember when I came in SFU, had nobody to talk to, little friends, no, not much events, just club days. That's it. That's all I got when I came last year. When finally I got friends, we couldn't find an event to go to. Man, I'm tired of it. This fall, I couldn't find any events to go to. I want to change it. I really want to change it for everybody. I want to make sure that we have at least 2 small events per month, or maybe a gigantic one per month. I want to have amazing breakfast, club days, and club days not like now. I want to change them. And yeah, I want to talk to every student I can, get their suggestions, and change basically. That's all we need for SFSS and events. We need lots of events, don't we? All right, thanks.
Perfect, and lastly we have Bismillah.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Bismillah Sultani. I'm a second year computing science student and a current event coordinator at World University Service of Canada at SFU. And running for the VP events for upcoming elections. And as your VP events and student affairs, my goal is to make our campus more diverse and inclusive. I want to improve academic and mental support services, organize workshops, for example, and create collaborative platforms to help you succeed in your academic journey. You can imagine an inclusive soccer tournament, for instance, soccer tournament, for example, where each team proudly represents their faculty. And having experience as event coordinator for WASC SFU, I think I'm the right candidate to be selected. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Now we will open up the floor to questions. Same system as before. We're going to give them 8 minutes. Right. First one, you may go. Oh, 6 minutes. Sorry, 6 minutes this time. Yeah.
So, speaking, running for this position needs some experience that to be suitable for this position. I'm asking from all the candidates, how can you find yourself that you are suitable for this position?
So yeah, I do agree that organizing events as general in this position is a lot of knowing people, a lot of knowing how things go step by step. In my past university experience, high school experience, I've been the president of the Indian Student Federation for the past 2 years.
organizing events such as Holi, Diwali, and numerous other small events. I've been a part of TEDx SFU, which was the largest TEDx conference of Canada this year. I've been a part of other student clubs as well over my journey in SFU and have made enough contacts, enough places to go, enough skills to tackle and handle crisis to organize a student-friendly event. Thank you.
I don't think I'm most experienced here, but I really do think I have a great mind for events. So I would really say we have had like the cliche events, the club days, the breakfast programs. That's all we have had. Like really small events, dog therapy, 3 dogs, 20 people on it. Kind of bad, right? So I really think that I want to have something more, like talk with students, the whole committee, and then do something. I've had a bit of experience with events myself. I've organized farewells with my school, and then teachers say like the small events, right? I think, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I do have some experience as an event coordinator for the World University Service of Canada here at SFU. So therefore, I have planned, organized attendance of events here on campus, fundraising, for example, movie nights, and many more outdoor activities or events. And I think all of these the skills that I have gained through through planning these events, I think is makes me actually the right candidate for this position. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, as kind of touched on a little bit, but I've worked with the SFSS for a while on events, and so I just wanted to see what you guys would do differently. Is there new events that you want to bring in, or certain events that you want to change up or adjust with your own little flair?
Last 2 minutes.
Well, for me personally, I have always been of the belief that student clubs, we have 169 student clubs in SFU, and a lot of them are not able to organize events because of the bureaucracies or the paperwork or the levels of people they have to go through within SFSS and SFU. So as a VP, my goal would be to definitely empower those smaller events and make a more culturally diverse event catalog, I would say, to include more and more people.
For me, I think I need to listen to people first, what all of us want. It's not about me, the SFSS, it's all about the people who want the events, right? The people who will be attending them. I want to hear the students what they want. Honestly, I think I'd love some cultural show from every country. This is what I'm thinking about. Like we have a diverse university. I want to think about people and then do it.
Yeah, for me, what I will do differently is to make it easier for the students to get in touch with executives, for example. For now, if you want to, for example, if you want to book for a club day, then you have to go through the website and do these things. I think some of those things are really complicated, so it takes time. So I want to make these things easier and then listen to what they want and make more, for example, even actually to organize more events. So as you say, we do have events here every semester, but I want to have more cultural events, for example, and do better, try at least to do better.
Yeah, so Saransh, you said you are gonna engage with everyone. So like, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna engage with so many different types of students, right?
So, I mean, I think it is a stupid idea what I'm thinking about, but I want to keep an email for myself where people can email me with their ideas and, you know, have a different Instagram account for them and maybe talk to them sometime. I want to roam around, not just sit in my cabin and have salad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm ambitious.
No offense to anybody though. People are doing great work. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Thing on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi there. So I have a pressing question here. Are any of you committed to tackling the beer craft monopoly for pubs on campus? So for example, the AMS at UBC operates their own pub. It's called the Pit. You know, they have epic nightlife there. So if any of you are elected, what would you do to bring something like the Pit to campus?
50 seconds, let's go.
When I did start at SFU, we had a study going up, best place to be on campus. I swear to God, the beers were so cheap. And then it just went down after COVID because of the financial burden it caused.
Okay, thank you.
You guys can all look like me.
As members have requested, we'll be taking a 5-minute short break and we'll resume around 6:30.
Hello, everyone. Can you please start settling down? Please take your seats. We're going to begin. We're going to resume the debate. Next, we will have the VP Finance and Services candidate come to the table, please. Can we please have silence so that we can hear the candidate? We will begin with Abdul Kareem, his introductory statement for a minute.
Good evening, fellow students and esteemed panelists. My name is Abdul Kareem. I go by Kareem. I am currently a third-year international student studying environmental science, planning on making the switch to sustainable business. I've had the honor to work as Associate Vice President of UAE and Sustainability and Equity. I've worked alongside all the executives to put out events as well as advocacy for the SFSS. As a candidate for Vice President of Finance and Services, I stand before you today not as an ambition, but as a commitment to elevate this financial situation of the student society, coupled by the mentorship of VP Finance, as well as my hard work and ambition towards this role. I am confident in my ability to lead this society towards a greater financial transparency, sustainability, and accountability. I look forward to your questions and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will have Simar.
There's one thing you change about SFU, what would it be? My name is Simar Sahoda, and I'm a fourth-year finance student, also marked in HR. I've had the opportunity to see many different aspects of SFU, and unfortunately what SFU also lacks. I've decided that I want to take the initiative and help make the 3 changes that I and other students that I hope to represent want to see in this school. If elected, my pillar goals involve increasing student power, advocating for affordable education, and increasing funds to better student engagement. This further involves making SFSS information more accessible, advocating for reduced tuition growth, and reallocating funds in favor of student unions and clubs. The skills and knowledge from my competitive finance experience and SFU club involvement involves a finance and risk coordinator role, an accounting intern role, a corporate relations role, and many others. By combining my financial literacy and my passion for seeing a change that I want to see in SFU, I hope to drive a positive change as UC finance and services. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next candidate is Boris. However, he's not present in the country, and because of that, he has a 2-minute statement. He'll play.
Hello, everyone back home. I'm sad that I can't be with you guys today, as I'm currently on an exchange in Singapore, but I'm excited to come back soon. My name is Boris, and I'm a 5th-year computer engineering student who's running to be your VP Finance and Services for the upcoming term. Over the last 4 years, I've been heavily involved in DSUs and was, for a time, the president of the Engineering Science Student Society. Frankly, I love this society and everything that it stands for, and I miss having the opportunity of working with peers to make the lives of students more engaging and fulfilling. During my time as president, I had the privilege of working with my team to really rationalize how we would allocate funds for the things that are important for the student body, while also ensuring a financially sustainable future for the society itself. And I mentioned that I loved it because I genuinely do. I love our community and I love helping people. So out of selfish desire and with a lot of experience behind me, I'm running for the SFSS this year. If elected as the VPFS, there are 3 major things that I will focus on, not including fulfilling the necessary obligations such as releasing transparent reports and working within budgets. The first thing I will do is look into increasing funding for DSUs, clubs, and services, as these are vital for building a community at our university. The second thing is really hunting down sponsorship opportunities around us, as there must be many ways to give students more benefits. Thirdly, I really want to push to have the SFSS to have an open door policy in the office. The SFSS services students, and if you need urgent aid with anything, especially when it comes to finances, I want people to be able to walk in, pull up a chair, and come talk to me. Ultimately, my time as president of ESSS has taught me that I am very good at finding pain points and coming up with effective solutions that are financially feasible, and that's what I will bring to this role. If this resonates with you, I hope that you will consider voting for me in this upcoming election. Thank you.
We will now have the questions. They'll be for 4 minutes.
Okay, so something that's really important to me personally is health insurance. So the extended health benefits that come with SFSS. SFSS is like a big part of that, and they've managed to make something work this year, even though the referendum failed. It might not be the case next year. What are your plans for that?
I can take that. So, as you guys have seen, as BC residents this coming year, in 2025 especially, a lot of Canadian residents are actually going to be receiving government health plans, and especially for dental. So dental care will be covered by the government, and that applies to almost any resident that's 18 and over that's a Canadian citizen. So the money that we save from that dental plan, we can opt out of that, and a lot of that fund will go towards more health insurance. You'd be getting a lot more health insurance, especially because a lot of our local students and student candidate residents that live here would be receiving that fund instead.
So my plan for that is once elected, I want to commit a financial health assessment of the student society. With that money, after the financial health assessment, we're going to look at the funds and budgets we have, and then allocate funds for the health insurance towards. So instead of like increasing membership fees, we would tell the students more about the health services we have, because a lot of students don't know all the options we have for health services.
We'll have a question from online. What would your argument be to the financial department aside from August student benefit for decreasing tuition terms?
Okay, yeah, so again, one of my pillars was reducing tuition. So one of the reasons I chose a tuition reduce of a growth was because I wanted to be realistic and transparent about my policies. I know that freezing tuition and completely lowering tuition is a bit out of balance for what we can accomplish. So lowering that growth to 1% is possible because the Canadian government actually in BC has a maximum of 2,000 for their tuition growth, and we're reaching that maximum right now, and it's based on inflation rates. as inflation rates are going up, SFU actually can choose whether or not they want to complete that maximum of 2% tuition growth or reduce that. So I think that I will be able to advocate for that and communicate with the financial department and work with them to reduce that tuition growth.
For the tuition decrease, technically, we can't really do anything about it, considering that we have the international student cap. We're gonna have lower international students enrolling into SFU. So with that, lower international students enrolling into SFU and more students graduating means that SFSS will be receiving less funding in terms of membership fees. I think the only thing we can do is advocate for the services we have, and even, let's say, in some offset chance SFSS membership increases, we gotta utilize the benefit and tell the students to know all the services we have so they can benefit from the membership fees they're paying for.
Perfect. If we could have audience members who haven't asked questions yet, come up to the mic, please. Which I think, yes, thank you.
What would your argument be to the financial department aside from obvious student benefit for decreasing tuition growth? Oh, sorry, hold on. What benefits will you foresee in increasing funds for student clubs and events?
So for benefits, I have to do my research about it. Because right now we have many benefits such as the health dental plan. We also have like mental health coverage. Other benefits will have to be looked into because it also depends on the budget we have. And we'd have to also negotiate with stakeholders or like investors or like other organizations to see what we can offer for students.
So you asked the benefit of student clubs. So I think that clubs are an investment rather than a cost. I think we have the opportunity to be in a lot of different clubs within BD itself.
That's time. Thank you, Samar and everybody.
Thank you.
Next, we have VP Internal and Organizational Development. Sam can begin.
I can go. All right. So, hi everyone. My name's Sam. I'm sure you've seen my AI posters around, although try telling my sister who spent 4 hours drawing that photo that they're AI. I'm running because I want to make a positive difference for students. The 3 big things that I would do would be to first make the SFSS Council hybrid. More collaboration, we're better together. Second of all, I want to aggressively use our space expansion fund, a fund that hasn't really been used this year, to get more student spaces, common rooms, and community hubs around campus, all 3 campuses. And finally, I want to fix our healthcare plan. Right now, we have the mental health benefits, the expanded mental health benefits that are helping a lot of students, but we aren't paying for them. We don't have increased costs. The system's out of balance. I want to fix that. So thank you for listening, and thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you. Okay, now we will have Sarah Creek.
Hello, SFU. I am Sarapri Singh, a 5th-year mechatronics systems engineering student, and I'm running for VP Internal. Being here for 4 or 5 years almost, I have experienced the student body challenges that they face, which includes unawareness about the resources and also career challenges once you graduate from here. So my vision is simple: amplify student voices and address all the concerns that they have. I'll strive to foster an educational environment which is integrated with technology, and also making sure that the student body concerns are addressed, not only heard. To achieve this, I'll strengthen communication channels and ensure your representation in decision-making committees. Nonetheless, I'm dedicated to enhancing your career prospect by organizing co-op opportunities and improving counseling services. Let's create an environment where every student lives to its full
That's
potential.
fine,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Last but not least, we have Claudia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Claudia Chu. I'm currently a fourth-year student at SFU and was very excited to be running for VP internal this year. So before I start my candidate campaign, whatever, I just want to ask if you could raise your hand. How many of you here actually knows what SFSS does? Okay, so not a lot, which is exactly what I'm running for. As most of the candidates here have already alluded to, there's a lack of communication between what the SFSS does and what it can do to the student body. And in addition to the transparency, to the communication to the student body, I want to be able to receive the feedback and direct communication from the students itself. And that is very important to keep making sure that whatever we're running here avoids the political drama, the bureaucracy that we have had before in the past years. And that is exactly what I'm running for. Thank you.
Right, so we will have the floor open for questions for 6 minutes. Actually, before we do the floor, we do have someone in the webinar wanting to ask a question. This is for all the candidates. There have been many tensions within the SFSS over the past few years, including overreaches of power from the executives. If elected, how will you ensure counselors build positive relationships and hold each other accountable to act with integrity?
So I can speak on that. That's a big part of my first thing, to make council hybrid, because it brings everyone into a space where they're together for one. So it also makes it a lot harder to make a snide comment to someone over like a Zoom box is a lot easier, than to say it directly to someone's face. Also, for that, it's really a big part is working very closely with the president. Part of my own, all the stuff that I've looked at, the SFSS and everything, I've seen that the organization really doesn't work well when the president and the vice president internal are fighting. So a big part of my commitment, if I win the role, will be to develop a close working relationship with the president so that there won't be that turmoil, that inner struggle, that inner schism that has really defined the SFSS over the last few years.
I think my friend got sidetracked a little bit. So VP internal, his role is governing all the other executive members and also making sure the policies are being followed in a manner. So basically, if I myself as VP internal is making sure that everyone is following our bylaws, our council, I think the overuse of power wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, great. So to follow up on that question, I just want to mention that there has been instances of bullying and instances where financial resources has been abused in addition to the political power internally, and which is why one of my key running points with my slate is no more drama. I'm here to ensure that the organizing is operating smoothly and the fact that everyone has the chance to be listened to be heard, and which is exactly why we want the direct feedback and communication to the students to ensure that the student body accounts and our actions are accounted by the students.
Awesome. Hi, so I'm the current VP internal, and one of the most important elements of our portfolio is to make sure that you guys know of our policy and our bylaws. Oh, sorry. So one of the most important things is that you know of our policy and our bylaws, and specifically Robert's rules. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your guys' backgrounds within these elements, and do you guys feel comfortable existing in a council space and being able to tell the other executives when they are, forgetting a certain policy, or when there's something technical going on in a meeting, and are you able to? What is your background and experience in those elements?
All right.
Yeah. So I have done my third co-op in CSPAN, where we were working on MPV, a vessel which will be used for Canadian Navy and Coast Guard. There is a set of rules. It's called Lloyd's Rules and Regulations, which is way more than what we have in the SFSS bylaws and council. So basically, my role in one of the tasks was to go through all those rules and making sure that one of the parts resembles all those 10,000 pages of rules. So basically, if I can do that, I would definitely be able to do bylaws, follow them, and also council policy. Probably it might not be sure for everyone, but bylaws and councils are separate things. So bylaws define what are the laws of the society, but the council policy is how the council should be operated. So if I know that, I can dig deeper, and once I have a task, I can get to speed.
All right. So asking about how I know how council runs, I ran the last council meeting. I'm the vice chair of council right now. I'm also the vice chair of the governance committee. I work very closely with Robert's rules. I am comfortable in the council space. So I know how everything happens. I follow Robert's rules. It currently is my job to make sure we're following Robert's rules. I work very closely with our president and our VP internal to do that. And talking furthermore about policy, through my time on the governance committee, I've had a lot of fun rewriting various sections of our policy to be more efficient and work better for students. So this is an area I'm already very well versed in.
I think it's a good question, but I think outside of the experiences I can bring to the table, it's also about making sure that everyone has a chance to be heard. And the bylaws are not set in stone. And despite, what the rule says, okay, but it's important to make sure that we're also flexible in adjusting our bylaws to incorporate what the current standards are. And, policies, they change with people. I feel like if we're all set in stone with what the policy says, instead of being a little bit flexible while adhering to the rules, it can also bring a lot of political drama because it can turn into like a he said, she said debate about like what is the rule is actually about. So that's how I feel about it.
One quick follow-up question that's specifically for Claudia. Are you aware of how our bylaws are changed?
Yes, I have read into the meeting minutes of the previous meetings, but I've also heard about like the previous billing where groups of people attempt to change the bylaws without the president approval and then like reducing the president's power in that regards. So I think it would be necessary to be mindful of that.
Okay, thank you. That's all we have for questions.
Next, I will read out the referendum question that's going to be part of this elections. So this is for the whole membership. I will just read out the statement that was given. The Simon Fraser Student Society Council voted to take a question on the referendum to ask all the SFSS members if they agree to make the SFSS Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy be established at the membership level. This policy supports the Palestinian people and was passed unanimously by the SFSS Council in 2022 and reaffirmed in 2024 with multiple endorsements from students and groups. If members vote yes, it means they want the policy to be established at the membership level. If they vote no, it means they don't want this policy to be established at the membership level and will remain at the purview of the SFSS Council. So yes means I agree with establishing the SFSS Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy official at the membership level. No, I do not agree with establishing the SFSS Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy at the membership level. So some definitions, adoptions at the membership level means that an issues-based policy established by a motion of the SFSS membership vote cannot be amended by council and only can be amended by another vote of the membership, being undergraduate student body, the highest democratic body for the SFSS, as per SFSS Bylaw 6/11. Membership means all university students who are registered in undergraduate course or program at the university and have paid student activity fee and are registered members of this society. The SFSS issues policy serves to clarify the stance of the society on social, political, and economic issues relating to student life and post-secondary education that are important to the SFSS membership. The SFSS issues policy shall also serve as a resource and a guide to assist in the development of campaigns, stakeholder relations, and media strategies employed by the society. Now I'll read the referendum question as put forward by Council on January 3rd, 2024. Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy Membership Adoption, whereas an issues policy may be adopted by membership at the membership level, and if passed, can only then afterwards be repealed at the membership level as per bylaw 6. That was 11. Whereas non-passage of an issues policy by referendum will mean the policy will continue to be an issues policy at the SFSS Council level. Whereas the SFSS Council previously unanimously passed the SFSS Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy in solidarity with Palestinian people after the previous bombardment of Gaza in 2021, and now there's a continuing genocide and siege on Gaza since October 7, 2023, resulting in the death of an estimated 20,000 Palestinians and further displacement of 2 million people. Whereas the people of Palestine continue to face occupation and blockade by the current state of Israel, and the Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy was adopted to be in solidarity with the Palestinian people and passed unanimously. Be it resolved that SFSS membership adopt SFSS Palestinian Liberation Issues Policy at the membership level as permitted by SFSS Bylaw 6, Clause 11. So that's the referendum question. We are not in a capacity to answer any of these questions. If any questions by the member and by the audience. If you have questions, you can reach out to Sim Nihal, who is the archaeology counselor. So thank you. So next we will move on to the Vice President, University and Academic Affairs.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, first of all, for taking time out of your day and coming here. I'm Vishu. I'm ready to be your next VP UAA. And as your next VP UAA, I'll be the bridge between us students and the university. I've had the privilege to be your current associate vice president UAA. And through my experience, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people and I've hosted a lot of events. So all of my goals come from the students. Throughout my, I have a lot of goals. One of them is to increase transparency. Second is to improve student engagement. And third, which is really a necessity at this point, more than a goal, is to finally hit quorum so that we can deal with the referendum issues. I hope I can win your trust and confidence in my abilities. And through my experience as a UAA, I think I'm suited for this.
Next, we'll have Ashkan.
Hi, everybody. First and foremost, thank you so much for IEC for holding this event, and thank you guys for showing up for this SFSS debate. So I'm a little nervous. So it is actually fantastic to see this lively turnout today. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. My name is Ashkan Safari, and I'm a third-year biochemistry major at SFU. Today, I'm genuinely excited that I have this opportunity to pretty much connect with you all. That's something that is incredibly important to me, which is representing you. Before I get started, I can definitely elaborate on the pillars that I have, but I want to get one thing straight is that I'm not here to promise, give you fancy promises or tell you what I think that you want to hear. That is just not my style or my character. What I'm all about is being authentic and sincere with each and every one of you. As someone who deeply cares.
That's time, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will open the floor for questions. Each, it'll be open for 4 minutes. And if we could also ask if there are audience members that haven't asked any questions to go first, so everybody has a chance. If there's anyone that hasn't asked any questions at all, to come up to the mic. Thank you. I just want to ask a question. How are you guys planning on increasing student engagement?
Okay, so I don't know if a lot of you know, but like I've been running Munchie Mondays and a lot more events like breakfast pancakes, and you maybe saw me on yesterday on Valentine's party and today as well on Lunar New Year. I've been running with the great mentorship of a great VPUA. I've been already been doing this. I just want to increase these weekly events more. I want to do it like maybe not every day of the week, but maybe more events. So that's one way of increasing student engagement so that I can talk to them and I can tell them more about the SFSS and actually tell them how much power they have.
In terms of engagement, I think this is very important. Thanks so much for the question. I think there's diverse interest and needs of student body. So what we can do, we can definitely do this, seek feedback and adapt to it, see what people actually want. For example, I'll give you an example. We, as I think Sam mentioned, we have the expansion funds. We haven't been using it properly for the past year or so. Which, like, for example, BD doesn't have a common, which is a big problem. BD is pretty much the largest department. We could make those common rooms have a place like size space, which is good. And we could also definitely hold engaging events.
Thank you.
Hi there, guys. My question was more directed towards the specific struggles of the university dealing with budget cuts at the moment, in terms of how you're going to address, in terms of advocating, how you're going to advocate for the students in terms of the budget cuts that recently hindered the student experience here at SFU, particularly from health and counseling, from recreation, from other different parts of the university. There's been a variety of budget cuts, and I want to know how you're going to advocate for students.
Okay, so from my past 1 year experience, I've learned that SFSS works as a unit. Like UAA will work with more with other offices. I want to work with external. I want to work together with equity so that we can bring forward all the voices. I can with external, we can talk to the provincial government of maybe they can help us a little bit, and this is maybe one of the best ways to combat budget cuts.
Minute 30 left.
In terms of budget cuts, I think the problem is not actually the budget. The problem is whoever is running it and definitely advocating for student needs. Budget, it could be limited, but that doesn't mean we can't get into the engaging events. We could definitely hold different programs depending on what people want. One of the ways of doing it, I think it's the enhancement of communication between the SFU and obviously the students, us, which could be definitely improved. Thank you.
There is a question on the webinar. It is year 5 into a pandemic through our leaders and institutions have told us to move on for economic and political reasons. Despite the still extremely high risks of disabled people and those in community with them, we have been segregated from higher education as a result. Will you advocate for more hybrid and online courses options, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea to have hybrid courses because not everybody can make it to campus and not everybody likes online classes. Everybody learns on their own pace. Everybody learns in their own way. So I personally, for me, I think that's a great idea. It wasn't in my mind at the top, but like, thank you for a great idea.
I do agree with that. I think definitely online course is important. Some people may not be good at in person, may not be as extroverted as we think. Another thing I want to bring up is that I think promoting academic excellence is also important. As a part of SFSS, I'll make sure that I have student recognition programs to make sure that everybody's doing academically good. Thank you.
Okay, that is all the time we have for questions. Thank you, candidates.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Hi, folks. Can people from equity and sustainability come up and talk? We will be starting with Chloe. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it here today. So she sent in a statement and I'm going to read it. So this is Chloe's statement. Hey everyone, my name is Chloe. I'm a 4th year international studies student trying to be a VP Equity and Sustainability. I want to protect the amazing advocacy work that our community has created and familiarize our student body with the resources and campaigns that the SFSS and our community has to offer. The SFSS should strive to connect with its community in more meaningful ways. I want to push forward initiatives that we members of our community care about, like international student fees, program funding for our wonderful CGs, and ensure SFU adopts policies that will keep our students safe and promote diversity, equity, and sustainability. I will advocate for ASL classes to be brought up to SFU, routinely meet with and create action plans according to the goals of marginalized groups on campus, and continue to push SFU and SFSS to meet sustainability goals to combat the climate crisis. So remember to vote for Chloe for your VP Equity and Sustainability. Thank you. Next we can have we.
Hello? Okay, first I would like to acknowledge that we are in the unceded traditional Salish land. My name is V, and I'm in my third semester of sustainable business. I support all minority, cultural, and related groups. I support better accessibility for people with health conditions. I support a green and livelier campus. Now, a bit about my experience. I am a former external relations coordinator for SFPOH. I am the finance coordinator for them currently, and I'm the interdepartmental rep for REMSA. I have worked with the SFSS IEC, Bennett Library, the Peak Newspaper, Community Engagement Center, SFU Badminton Club, GCP, SFU Health and Counseling, and the list goes on and on. But what I'm trying to tell you that is, I have shown my trust and excellence throughout these campus involvement, and I promise to bring forward the same as VP Equity and Sustainability.
Thank you.
Hello guys, I'm Pranay Ratan. So first of all, you can catch my campaign on Instagram. My Insta ID is pranay.ratan. So as we all know, SFU leads in sustainability, but we have to think what's next. Enter Cryptopia, my main initiative, which aims to revolutionize SFU with a culture of sustainability and inclusivity. It's not just about trading goods, it's about building a sense of community where students empower each other through shared resources. It is set to reinvent how we think about consumption, one reused atom at a time, aligning our daily actions with our goals. So my ideas are tailored like a bespoke suit, even though I'm not wearing one. While it's true I'm a first-year student, but I believe this perspective is my strength. It allows me to bring fresh ideas and new energy to the table, unburdened by the fact of, we have always done it this way, so we have to do it that way. We have to find better ways to do things, guys. So as a first year student, okay, I guess thank you.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hello, my name is Mustafa Tariq. I'm a third-year criminology student with a concentration in law. And as Dee mentioned, I would like to point out we are in the unceded traditional Coast Salish territories of the people. And there's three core values that make up my campaign goals. Firstly, I want to invest in resources and support for student communities. I want to ensure that the SFSS member fees are utilized to create accessible university experiences for all. Resources will be used to create opportunities for all students to get fair access to education, financial, and social support that they need to foster an SFU community. Secondly, I want to combat racism and all forms of discrimination on campus, and I want to be a strong voice for support for all students dealing with any form of discrimination at SFU. Lastly, I want to create an inclusive and multicultural SFU community, and I want to create an inclusive community for Indigenous people. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. We will now open the floor to questions. It will be 6 minutes long. Okay.
Hello. Mustafa, you mentioned how you want to combat racism on campus. I have a question for you. How do you plan to ensure that marginalized voices and underrepresented communities are actively included and empowered in decision-making processes regarding equity and sustainability initiatives?
That's a great question. I myself come from a marginalized community. I'm from Pakistan. I grew up in Saudi Arabia for 7 to 8 years. I came to this country as an immigrant. And one thing that I can share in common with people with other minority communities is discrimination and racism. It's something that we share it's not a good thing, it's not something nice, but it's a shared experience that we, people, the victims of this act, we can pool our thoughts and our resources together, come together as a community to battle these issues. You need a big support group. When you go through racism and discrimination, it's not just black and white. You need a support group. You need people there that can help you and foster a care system that is effective. Thank you.
Sorry, not to put you on the spot, but
No,
I feel like I have not gotten a detailed action plan.
So right now, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, so right now, if you do have any issues with discrimination or racism on campus through the SFSS, all you have to do is email a representative or try to get a channel of communication started. And that channel of communication, I feel like, can be more effective. I feel like there can be more subgroups for people in different regions. Like a South Asian person who gets discriminated most likely will not have the same issues as a person from a nation of Africa. So these two issues, even though these people are going through the same issue, they need a different support group because they are different identities and different values. So it's more so about making the issues more micro and working with them more micro, so having more support groups for different ethnic groups and having a more communal sense of having more representatives out on campus. Thank you.
I have another question for all members here. Can you share examples of successful equity and sustainability initiatives that you have implemented in the past?
I think so. I'll go ahead and answer that. So even though I'm a first-year student and I don't have much experience with SFU, I have been a part of a non-profit and co-founding that back home in Mumbai. It was a part, and we were in initiatives like building a slum school, which directly affected 50 students and got them into school before I came to Canada. Apart from that, I've also been in other initiatives like reforestation of areas back in Mumbai. So yeah, you can check that out on my profile as well. Yeah.
To answer your question, my mother works with diversity. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's a nonprofit organization that works with refugees and other people who suffer challenges that come to Canada. Diversity works with the government to ensure that we can provide them life skills and provide them basic things that they need to live in Canada. So I've been in the works of working with these support groups, going to these channels of communication with the refugees. And when you hear refugee, it's not just, as we know in the news, of people from African nations or people from the Middle East. Anybody can be a refugee. So that's one thing you have to understand, is you have to rethink what it means to be an ally to these people. It's not just, oh, I'm here to show up, say hello, hi. It's actually sitting down and understanding it's a mother, it's a father, it's a child, it's somebody who sacrificed everything to come here for a better life. And I've been in the process of going to these groups, talking to these people, and through my schoolwork as well, I ultimately have found that conversations can lead to a better result than most people understand. Thank you.
V, would you like to say anything? Just to give you a chance, you know.
Yeah, as I said, I'm very involved on campus throughout the various things I've mentioned before in my speech. I just promise to continue doing the same and continue putting in effort and just bring a positive change on campus.
Thanks, folks. I apologize in advance. This is going to be a very tough question. I want to see how you answer. One of the most pertinent issues for any VP equity, as it has for the past two people who've held this position, is the matter of IP10 and how they seek to negotiate between Jewish student groups on campus and people who are advocating for Palestinian liberation. How do you seek to enact an action plan to negotiate these two issues and these two diverse groups of people? And how do you seek to make sure that that does not come in the form of a lawsuit to the society?
It's a great question. Thank you. First and foremost, when issues like this arise, you have to understand there's a lot of policies, there's a lot of laws that go into place. SFU is a university, so we do follow bylaws that are in place by the BC government. And to tackle something like this, you have to understand it's not just like I said, a black and white issue. I want to choose my words carefully here. The issue that's going on in the Middle East, the conflict that's going on, it affects people here as well. Students, representatives, everybody, you guys all have a voice to speak out of what's happening. Regardless of who you support, you have that right. And I think for me as a VP Equity, I can do the best I can through the bylaws and through the guided support I have in place to make sure it's fair and equal. Equity does not mean equality. So equity is not equality, but equity is a different thing. So I can make sure that I can bring equity to all people. Thank you.
How do you guys plan to work with all the offices so that everybody has a voice and everybody's voice can be heard? Maybe.
To the previous candidate, like, do the other candidates want to answer the previous question that was asked?
Okay.
Okay, that's okay, and then we're out of time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, folks, the moment that everyone has been waiting for, the president's, people who are running for the president position can come in the front. Before we start, I'll just like to make an announcement that we'll be giving more time, for folks to ask questions. So we will allocate around 10 minutes for the question and answer session. We're gonna start with Emmanuel, whenever you're ready.
Hey everyone, I hope those at the back could see me, but I'll just get it going. I've already mentioned my name is Emmanuel Bolega, and I've just got a few minutes, so I'll just get to it. It is no news to anyone that the SFSS is in need of great leadership, now more than ever, especially with expiring student union agreements, staff vacancies, and continuing budget cuts from the SFU agreement. Students need the representatives to fight for them now more than ever. The next president of the SFSS must be an individual that's confident, informed, passionate, committed, resourceful, experienced, and ready to fight for the students. And this is exactly what I bring to the table. My vast experience working with a diverse group of students, alongside my connections across different strata of university life, equips me to be just the president that SFSS is crucially of. I encourage you to read my platform, connect with me on social media, and check my track record of work and dedication to students over the past 3 years. Thank you.
Next, we will have Adriana.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Adriana Cumming-Teicher, and I'm hoping to be your next SFSS president. All of us seated here today undeniably have the experience to help lead this organization. I've helped run out on campus in the Disability and Neurodivergency Alliance for a number of years. I've been a counselor within the SFSS. I've liaised with the Canadian Mental Health Association. I've worked with Joy Johnson herself directly to help lead the SFU Pride Parade. And a number of other issues. I think it's important that we talk about our visions for the society. Right now, we are in a dire moment for the student body. We are seeing SFU's actions continue to hurt students, and the SFSS take no stand and no fight for the students. We watched during the strike, no public statement. The hiring freeze, no public statement. This needs to change.
Thank you. Next, we will have Ashley.
Hello. Hello. My name is Ashley Flint, and I'm running to be your next SFSS president. I'm a third-year philosophy major and the current VP internal. I'm running on a platform of student-first engagement and would like to bridge the gap between the student body and the SFSS. Everyone from student unions, constituency groups, affiliated student groups deserve to have an SFSS that actually advocates for them and provides them with the resources they need to thrive. One of the ways I will do this is by implementing a semesterly town hall where students can directly ask questions and voice their needs to the executive committee and the rest of council. As the current VP internal, I work closely with counselors and staff on initiatives like our health insurance and our UPACs. As president, I would continue to work with student care to ensure that all undergraduate students have access to quality health insurance. So if you want to know more about my campaign, go to Instagram at Flett for VPS, and remember to vote for Ashley Flett for meaningful student politics. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Now we will open the floor for questions. Oh, sorry. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Listen, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. Sorry, Thomas. I said that because I think, anyway, you can go ahead.
Kind of hurts.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's gotta be personal.
Hey, there's a lot of drama in the debates, right? So I'm here to bring the drama, neutrally drama, all right?
Not helping my stage right at all.
All right, you're good. You can start.
Okay, is this good? Is this good? Y'all hear me in the back? Okay, all right, so, as you all can see, I'm sure many of you know me, my name is Thomas. Some of you have met me from Res, from Dining Hall, from SFSS, being at club days, different events and everything. I'm here to ask you to vote for me as president. As you know, Emmanuel and Ashley, and also Adriana have mentioned, SFSS is in a very dire situation right now. SFU is making a bunch of budget cuts. We have a bunch of agreements that we're gonna have to re-sign next year. We need someone that we can actually trust to make the right decisions for the student body as president. And I'm telling you, I am that person. Please vote for me. Thank you.
Okay, now we will open the floor to questions. Again, if we can prioritize those who haven't asked any questions at all tonight to go up first. And once again, we will be doing 10 minutes for the Q&A for the presidents. Thank you.
Okay. So question I have, how important is it for you to have equity and equality between DSUs? And what would that look like in terms of grant fund allocations?
I think over the years, we've seen that there's always been a very unequal distribution between DSUs, constituency groups, and other affiliated groups on campus. I think it's important that we empower every student in every discipline in order to be able to engage with council more meaningfully. I think we've seen that certain DSUs and certain institutions here on campus within the SFSS has seen undue amounts of resources. And I think redistribution and a focus on our access to student services and on prioritizing student health care will bring greater tidings for the students now.
Yeah, thanks for the excellent question. So one of the things that I currently do as VP internal is work on policy to ensure that our distribution is more equal. In the past, we've been given too much money to certain groups and not enough to others. And then if president, I would like to prioritize the smaller groups who don't necessarily get as much funding. And I think we can tackle that on both the policy side as well as the engagement side by directly working with students to ensure that they have the funding they need for their very excellent events.
Okay. Hello. Okay. For with regards to what's the question again? Actually. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. Well, first equality and equity aren't really the same thing. So I'm not sure if you do both, but with regards to allocating funding for DSUs and FSUs, I think it's important to try and look at, well, how many students are going to be impacted by the decisions, what's the amount of money that we're allocating, and also look to see if there's there's places in a budget that we're allocating money for that aren't being used, to rather put that money towards things that are actually benefiting students.
Yeah, I think like already mentioned, I think when it comes to allocating funds, I think it's pretty evident that student groups need equality.
So I think, again, working with the budget is making sure that, allocation, of course, it probably will not be equal. But I think equity would be the point where we use, to decide on the budget instead of the quality. Yeah.
So I first want to direct the question to Thomas. I am an exec member of a student union here on campus. I wanted to say that we submitted a grant request to your team December 15th, only to hear back from you guys last Wednesday, with our event happening this Monday, as in 3 days. In that same time, our grant request was hacked by your team, despite the lack of the explanation we gave you guys, context, detailed finance plans. But at the same time, SFSS and other groups that you're closely affiliated with have gotten large sums of money. Despite applying after us and lacking any in-depth explanations of where those funds are going. Can you please explain the rationale of you and the rest of the execs in these funding decisions based on previous statements regarding quality and funding? And I ask all of you, how will you prevent the inequitable and preferential treatment that student unions are currently subjected to under the current exec team?
Okay, sorry, what student union are you, for?
I mean, I don't want to share if it's going to be.
Oh, no, it's not, I never received.
Union.
Okay, I don't remember receiving any grant requests recently. So like you said, my team is the University and Academic Affairs Committee. We do not review grant requests. Typically, our grant requests go through the club coordinators, and then sometimes I believe it's sent to finance and administrative services committee.
We have made multiple efforts to try and contact your team over the past few months to get a response to this. So I had one person reach out to this group without, this was supposed to be brought, I would love to speak to you about.
I would like to speak to you afterwards. I understand your issues, but I'm sorry, it's not really anything that I can control. That is not about to you, University Academic Affairs Committee, so that's not really my team per se. But see, this is a growing issue. A lot of times people submit requests, and then it's rejected or it's half, and they're not really understanding why, and they don't know who to submit it to, how to get it done, how to get the money by the time that they need it. That's one thing I want to work on as president. I want to increase the level of bureaucracy and allow students to get the funding they need on time for their events.
How do you prevent the preference?
Okay, for the interest of time and respect for the other audience members, maybe we can have Adriana, who's been patiently waiting, to maybe provide a response, and then we can move on to the next question.
Increase the time by 50 more minutes.
We will actually increase the time as well, but if we go on with this question, it'll also be beyond. But yeah, we will be increasing the time as well.
This is a question to both Ashley and Thomas. You guys are already executives of the SFSS. The students want change at this institution. There's a broad dissatisfaction and lack of knowledge for what's already happening. Both of you already have power, and to the broad student body, you've done nothing with it. How do you plan to change that if you were president?
Thank you for the very lovely question, Adriana. I actually have a very excellent answer. I've been working quite closely with geography on this issue for the last couple of months, helping them fill out all their appeal forms and whatnot, as well as a variety of other DSUs and FSUs. You may also notice, if you watch the council recordings, that I'm often the executive who is speaking out against giving large sums of monies for the same 3 FSUs every single council meeting. As I've mentioned previously, I think it's very important that we do a more equal and equitable distribution of our funding to DSUs, and very much so like to be a boots on the ground president, in the same way that I'm a boots on the ground VP internal, directly working with DSUs to get them the funding they need, amongst at the disapproval of some of the other executives that I work alongside.
Hey, John, can you repeat your question again, please?
Well, I'd be very happy to. To clarify, what I'm asking is you already have power. You've had power for a year. A lot of the complaints that we're hearing from students is about your group of executives administration. Students want change. You have not offered them anything new and you've been here for a year. Why should they believe that that's going to change if you're here for another?
Good question, good question. First thing I'd like to say, actually, I haven't been here for a year, it's only been 9 months, actually, let's be completely honest. Okay, no, it's the truth, bro, okay, last question. Second, no, I did not do not, okay. First off, I'd like to say, people have this idea, because a lot of people don't know about SFSS. A lot of people don't know about, what's included in the rules, about, the work that's involved, the fact that you're supposed to be about averaging 60 hours bi-weekly. People don't understand that, when you are an exec, there's lots of other work that comes with it. People think, oh, just run in and then suddenly, boom, you can just make change immediately. No, there's a lot of bylaws in place, there's a lot of different things in place that actually prevent you from making changes. There's lots of levels of bureaucracy that prevent me from making the changes that I want. There's lots of times I've been like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do this. And people are like, no, we cannot do this for whatever reason. Sometimes it's a stupid reason, but still, for that reason, I have been unable to make the changes that I want. And that is why I want to run as president, so that I can make the changes I want. So, yeah.
Okay, due to popular demand, we will be adding 5 more minutes for audiences to ask questions. So if we could keep it civil and quick and concise, so everyone has the opportunity to respond.
Right, as all of you know, every office has issues. There's gonna be conflict of interest. And lately, it has been exposed by the whole IP10 issue. I want to ask all of you, as presidents, how will you manage the SFSS offices? How will you make sure that all the offices are united and not divided, united for the students' interests and not divided by their own interests?
I'd love to answer this question. I first of all want to shout out Sam's answer that I think is very important as we talk about the ways in which we manage the society. Council needs to be hybrid. This culture of hostility has to come to an end if we want to make any difference. The other key thing that I want to highlight is that the executive office has been more open this year. Things have been getting better, but specifically the president's office has often been locked or vacant. That needs to change. And if I was to become president, I would do 3 key things. A, I'd be in my office during working hours, a base expectation for people who supposedly work a full-time job here. Additionally, I would be holding town halls in this very space. I would encourage students to engage in this amount of volume regularly to help make decisions for the society. Lastly, and this is one of the down, dirty, and ugly ones that people don't like talking about and doing good outreach work, I'd be tabling. I'd be sitting outside that front door where students can come talk to me. Believe me, in my work with CGs and DSUs, I've done enough sitting at that table that I will continue to do it, and my being president will not make me afraid of talking to students like previous presidents have shown us.
Just to clarify, when you say offices, do you mean the different executive committees?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think, again, my background has been working with a group of diverse individuals, diverse executive team. And I think over the years, it's been one of my strengths putting together a team that might be from diverse backgrounds, being able to coordinate them to work against one goal. And that goal here is students. So I don't think it's a big problem or will be a big problem being able to coordinate a team that does not prioritize their own personal interests, but prioritizes that of the union, which is students. So again, I think working with that is, again, coordinating people and letting them know, reminding them why they ran for this position. It's not for a personal benefit, it's for the people and for the students.
Continued, you could ask anyone that has worked with me. There's no moment that you don't come into a team meeting with excitement. And I don't see that with executive teams this year, and I don't see that in the past year. So I think building a culture of the team is something that's going to be very important.
I forgot who it was who said it earlier, but I agree that it's incredibly important to have the executive committee in the office. As one of the few executives who's in the office every day, all day, I sign the checks, I talk to staff, and I think an executive committee would work better if we were all here being able to discuss the issues that come up day to day. That's what executive committee is for, the day-to-day operations of the society, and it's better when we're here. Furthermore, I would like to bring back executive working sessions, which we used to have 2 years ago, where on the alternate weeks of the executive committee meetings where we make decisions, we would work together to coordinate our projects and our efforts on a semi-weekly basis, which will increase our teamwork skills and our communication skills to ensure that a few executives aren't just leading all the projects by themselves and not running it by the team.
Okay. Yeah, I believe everyone said some pretty good points right now. But one thing I would do as president is I would make sure execs actually know what they're doing. When I first started, because previously, as everyone knows, the year before us, a bunch of execs resigned, and there's a whole bunch of issues with the turnover. We received practically almost no guidance from the previous execs, except for thank you very much. But aside from that, we received almost no guidance from previous execs. We had no idea what we were doing, kind of had to figure it out for ourselves. I want to make sure that execs and also counselors as well know what they're doing, what's required from their role, what they should be doing, how they can help students. And I would like to lead council and execs this year. Yeah.
Can we keep the next question short and concise, please? And also for the candidates to answer it quickly as we are.
All right. So Adriana, you talk very bold about your plans, but I'm wondering, are you up to the task? So November 8th council meeting, you were removed by council for being absent 4 times in a row. And you've had more absences than that, but 4 times in a row. So if you can't even commit to 4 hours bi-weekly, how can you commit to 60 hours bi-weekly as a president? Thank you.
Before you guys answer, guys, could you please wrap up your answers in around 30 seconds? That would be great. Thank you.
I'm very happy to answer this, Rasco, because I wanted to devote my time to giving out on campus and DNA the leadership they deserve. You don't deserve a leader with split focus, someone who doesn't prioritize just their work. And I said, you know what? I don't have the capacity for council right now. My constituents need me. They need me there, present in our spaces, doing the dirty work on the ground. And so that's what I did.
In a single sentence, can you tell me why you want this position? Not about what you can do in this position, what this position will do for you. Why do you want this position?
They need change, they need help, and I want to be the person to help them.
I think we're at a desperation point for a lot of students, and I see how much it's hurting my friends, the people I've worked to serve, and I'm called forth here because I need to help, and I can't see people continue to hurt.
If I could put it in a sentence, I would say it's legacy. There's been a culture of people not being well equipped for the role. So I believe something that I bring to the table is setting the example of what this organization leadership should look like. And I think that from there is going to build legacy for every single other person that steps into this position, knowing that students is the focus and we're not here to serve ourselves, to serve students. So I would say legacy is that thing for me.
At the moment, I've got one sentence is crazy. I think if I could summarize the sentence, I'd say my main goal here is just to sort of fix this place. There's a lot of issues I ran into during my time here as VP UAA. I want to make this place much more efficient and better for helping students.
give it to to the people who haven't asked a question, and it will be the last question, just because we are really out of time, but I see that you've been signing in the queue for so long.
I see in line like 1 minute.
Please make it quick.
I'll make it very quickly. All right, guys, so as per VP of Finance, I work with all people on council as well as in the executive as well. The position of president is the most contentious position here at the SFSS. It has been this way for a long time at this point as well. My question to you guys right now is, if you are elected, why are you going to be any different from presidents in the past who have caused a very big controversy in this university over the past 5-6 years?
You guys have 15 seconds for the response.
Because I'll actually hold the university accountable for their actions. When they fire counselors, I'll take it to joy. When they cause their workers to block out our classes for 3 weeks, I will hold them to account, and I will not let our students suffer in silence.
15 seconds. I would say what's going to be different is the way I do things, the governing principles behind everything I do, which one is love, unity, equity, and community. I think that's something that defines everything you do. It's the very reason why you do what you do that's going to influence the way things turn out. So it's the way I do things that's going to be very different.
For me, what makes me different is I love this place. I love SFU. I love SFSS. I love everyone I meet here. I want to make this place better, and I want to make this place much more efficient for everyone. That's why I'm running for president.
What I'm going to do differently is not only will I be on campus, but I won't be sitting in my office all day by myself. I'll be in the sub, walking around, talking to students, talking to PSUs, talking to CGs, talking to everybody, and saying, hey, what do you need? Let's make it happen. That's what I'm going to do for me.
Thank you, everyone.
We can have these can be the last 2 questions. Please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. How do you plan to address potential pushback or controversy that may arise from Oh, thank you. How do you plan to address potential pushback or controversy that may arise from advocating for Palestinian rights within the university campus?
Yeah, so when the issues policies were put in question earlier in the year, I worked very closely with students, particularly the archaeology counselor, to ensure that student voices were put first and foremost in this conversation. So when dealing with issues like that, I want to prioritize student voices, and I want to make sure that marginalized students aren't left behind when we're dealing with issues that are particularly about them.
For brief background context, I myself am a Jewish woman. I have worked on issued policies 10, I've worked with previous progressives, I've worked with SJP, and I've helped navigate this for the society for a number of years at this point. It is the role of the society to protect and offer resources for our students. It is not the responsibility of our students of color, who may be refugees, international students, or otherwise more pressing concerns in their life, to take the brunt of the fallback, the pressure, and the political violence that may fall upon them. I will offer those students our protection and our care.
When it comes to dealing with pushback, I think, again, the union is here to represent students. It's called a student union for a reason. So whatever pushback, whether from the university, whatever that might be, again, one of the crucial pillars of my campaign is amplifying student voices. I truly mean that. I've done that for many years, and that's going to continue to be my mantra, is to support student voices and amplify those voices that already exist.
Okay. With regards to pushback, I mean, I'd still push back. I'd still fight for it. What we are here is we're a student society. As president of the student society, it's like whichever one of us is elected, it's our job to prioritize the voices and concerns of students. And as long as it is a concern of the student body, I'll make it a priority to push for it.
Thank you. So this is the last question for the day. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, racialized and marginalized students face microaggressions and overt racism, within SFU environments, so what would you propose, or what policies would you put in place to address and combat instances of racism where they arise?
Yeah, so I would advocate for a no tolerance policy on these kinds of things. I was involved heavily with writing the SFSS's new anti-bullying policy, which does include things like racial discrimination or ethnic discrimination. And we work very closely with the VP Equity to ensure that this is not allowed in the council space. I've been here 2 years and I've seen the kinds of microaggressions that we put against our marginalized students, and will not allow it as president.
I think again, our issues policy take a firm stance on this, so I think I'll continue to stand by the society and sustain all of those issues policies. And then when it comes to addressing issues, I am every space I've been in, I've always been to prioritize the minority groups, especially being part of people from those communities. I think it's going to be a very firm stance that I take that is totally in alignment with the society stance as well. And again, I think there's no space for that, especially in a diverse SFU community that has a profound amount of minority students within this community.
In my work with the constituency groups, I have long been prioritizing diverse students' needs. And I think that as we work to protect racialized and otherwise marginalized students, I want to second the calls for a no tolerance policy. I have been on council for years. I have seen what has continued to happen and happen and happen, and the ways in which council members of color have been attacked, and it's been grotesque. And I think in enacting these policies and in vociferously protecting our students, we can create a space where it is safe for us to have voice and for us to contribute to our discourses and political conversations.
I will further what Adriana said about the council meetings. I've witnessed multiple times people can get very aggressive because I mean you're on Zoom, right? You just type in the keyboard or whatever. Well, I as president, I will not tolerate any sort of harassment or racism, any sort of discrimination towards anyone. We already have our issues policies of like anti-racism, but I will work towards putting in place a no tolerance or like no harassment policy for our council meetings.
Thank you so much to all the candidates for answering the questions. And thank you everyone for coming up with the debate. It has been quite a lively and informative debate. And I hope you can now make a better decision and who to vote for. Don't forget, voting is from 26 to 29 February. It will be via SFU mail. Also, there will be gifts to win if you do vote. So if nothing more, use that incentive. But more importantly, vote because your vote matters and you can make a change on campus. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.